Hello folks, this is Jamil Sir for Gunstock Reviews. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona at the headquarters of Enlo Custom Guns with Marty. How you doing, Marty?
Good.
Good, good. Hey Marty, I have an EXTAR EP9 carbine and I have the EXTAR muzzle brake. I had an issue when I described in my channel the other day that you have to go through a process of removing the handguard to install muzzle brakes. Not suppressors, but muzzle brakes or any other muzzle attachment. And this viewer started yelling at me because it says, I did it in 5 minutes. I put it on and I torqued it with my wrench and I'm done. And interestingly enough, the instruction manual and the packaging of the brake says, don't do that. And you and I discussed it, and you haven't worked with this at all.
Yeah, that's my first time seeing one, yeah.
But for what you've seen so far, is the instruction manual correct?
Well, asking if the manufacturer's recommendations are correct, I mean, you know, we kind of, it would be unwise to suggest against it because they probably have a reasoning for recommending a preferred method. Now, they might have built that into the system so it was meant to be assembled in a certain way, and they probably have experience watching something fail, right? So, I mean, you're saying that somebody clamped on to the actual forend and torqued a
for what the person said, that he put the cross washer and the brake on it and used a wrench and put it on.
Okay.
Immediately, and right, took them 5 minutes, which is true. On a normal AR, if you don't have the tools, you can just hang on to it and you know.
Let me put it this way: like you have a brake here that has a timing feature, right? It has a top and a bottom, right? And let's assume that the person put a flash suppressor on, right? They could have screwed it on there and rock set it in place, and maybe you didn't need something that needed a time. I mean, you know, if you're rock setting something in place, it's generally not going to come loose, right? If you have, you know, we were saying earlier, a crush washer. Well, where does the crush washer time up? You know, sometimes you get a crush washer that, or at least where the threads line up, and you're just shy of where it's supposed to be. You torque it on and okay, you're good. Oh, okay. Well, now it timed over here. Now you have to exert all that force to get that thing over there. Well, it's going to depend. It's not going to be one of those things that is going to be all that straightforward, you know, and oftentimes these things don't match up. And that's why the crush washer is designed to deform to get us to the proper timing, right? If somebody is torquing this, and as our conversation, right, this is plastic, right? It's not.
It's polymer.
Polymer. I mean, it's a reinforced, right? Obviously, it's not the cheap plastic you find on certain things, but I mean, you're not going to go like stand on this and do pull-ups off of it or something, right? Where you're, you know, just suspend it between something and put a lot of pressure on it. And that's the same thing here. I mean, if you're putting a lot of torque, maybe you don't break it, but maybe you've taken it to a limit that maybe it shouldn't have exceeded, right? I don't know for certain. What I do know is that they have a nice built-in flat here for you to put a wrench on and torque it down, which is fine if you don't have the tools like a vise or something else, right? But yeah, I mean, looking at it, yeah, there's 3 screws that you have to undo, and then it's a simple flat. And I mean, you know, I wouldn't necessarily want to go to a mechanic who cuts corners. You know, let's cut corners on brake jobs. There's a better way to do it. Well, you know, maybe somebody who's done it for 30 years has a better way. But somebody who is doing it at home, yeah, I wouldn't want it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told the guy. He kept arguing that, oh yeah, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. It's like, well, good for you when you have to send it back in because it broke, because your upper receiver broke, and EXTAR sees it and says, you twisted the heck out of this thing. How the heck did you install this brake on? They're going to say, well, you need to buy a new part, you know, because you inappropriately installed the brake
Yeah.
onto the
Yeah.
barrel. But
Well, I'll say this for the people on the internet. They have a lot of things to say. When they're in business, they can do it how they like.
Mhm.
How about that?
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and put this brake on
Okay.
and show the viewers how the instruction manual tells you to do it.
All right. So you pull the upper off, right? There's 3 screws. There's one here at the front, 2 here at the back, right? So at least back of the fore end, right? And they're both Phillips heads. So I'm just going to pull these off. Let's loosen them up.
I don't think they torque those things for obvious reasons too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think everything here is pretty much polymer. Okay.
Okay, that's simple. This friction.
Friction's
Cap.
thread protector is friction, so.
Mm-hmm. So we have our flat, we have our where our wrench is going to sit, we have our crush washer, and we have our brake, right? So super simple. Not going to put a tremendous amount of torque on the barrel nut itself because obviously that's held in by polymer, right? But I suppose we didn't necessarily have another 3/4 inch wrench floating around, but we had this thing, so we can kind of get away with this, right? And all we're going to do is cinch that down. There we go.
It's upside down. Oh no, it's not.
It's not upside down.
Oh no, look at that. Son of a gun.
Spot on.
Spot on. I was looking at it upside down. You're confusing me.
If anything, no, yeah, that's good. So that's right where we want it to be. And then
It's a matter of putting it all back together again.
yeah, did that take 5 minutes?
No, it took less than a minute,
Took-
but we followed the.
Manufacturer instructions, right? Okay, so there's one thing we do have to pay attention to, which is that piece right there.
Yeah, this piece right here just flies off.
Mhm.
So you pay attention to it because you're the guy putting it back together again.
That's why we found it. So there we go.
I gather that they have made this fairly modular and easy to work with for the home enthusiast to do it at home real easy. But I guess, it's polymer, Marty, like you said before. It's not cheap plastic like some other, things that you buy nowadays made in China, but at the same time, you got to follow the directions and not screw it up and not over torque it.
Right.
Because, like we said before, is some aluminum parts, some, there's no need to put the fear of God in it.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, if I hit this with too much torque here, guaranteed we're just going to do more harm than good. How about that? So fingertip pressure once again with the screwdriver. What I'm doing here, and there we go.
Yeah.
Did that take us 5 minutes?
No.
No, it didn't.
No, and again, we followed the instructions. So let's put this thing back together again and let's get it done.
There you go.
Thank you very much, sir. That was really quick. Took us, less than 5 minutes. I think this video is going to be less than 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And again, we followed the instructions. And do you think is the instructions a good thing?
Yeah.
Sometimes you see instruction manuals that are overly complicated and there are easier ways of doing things, but in this case, no.
I know how much I like to read instructions, and that's a common problem with the male of the species, right? But at the same time, there's pros and cons to it. Yes, you're going to have to sit there. You're probably going to have to figure out what all those letters are written on a piece of paper. Maybe, you know, they try to include pictures. You know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But the fact is that you'll probably find out the hard way if you don't, you know, follow these things. Or in which case, you know, that took us what?
Minute or two.
I mean, you were afraid to pull apart the upper, but I mean, we got that back together too. So I mean, it was quite simple. I mean, that would have taken me all of about 2 minutes to get that whole thing put together.
Yeah, so, if we didn't have to make a video.
Yeah, exactly.
And do it for people to learn. Because a lot of people say, well, you're doing it so slow. Yeah, because we're trying to teach. So that's the process. So thanks, Marty. Appreciate it. Guys, thanks for watching. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. And like always, please remain healthy, stay safe, and definitely have fun on the range.
Thank you for watching Gunstock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.